Hey everyone, it's Foxkey, and I just wanted to talk about Springtrap in Dead by Daylight, briefly, because, there's been some discourse, not like super bad discourse or anything. It's just about Springtrap's power and like the gameplay and the integration and stuff like that. Now, personally, I don't really mind it. I think the power is pretty good, because let's be real, if you added phantom animatronics into the mix, you just get a second knight, and I think I would much rather a second huntress, even if that's not necessarily true, than a second knight. So, what is his power? Well, you throw the axe, obviously, you have the doors, and the argument generally is, oh, it's recycled, oh, it feels the same, and it doesn't really. Like, there's so many dynamic plays with the doors that just happen by you using them, that it feels a lot different from the amount of control or what you have to do with Xenomorph's tunnels, with Demo's portals. Like, setting up Demo's portals to this day is still tragic, honestly. The fact that you have to do it yourself. And the actual axe itself, I think the recon aspects, like the killer instinct aura, could maybe use some numerical buffs, but by itself it's good. And the actual throwing of the axe, the trajectory makes it significantly different from other killer projectiles. So the trajectory is pretty similar to Unknown's ball. The one problem I have with it is the actual grabbing aspect, and we will get into that today. Now, before I go any further, I want to say, I don't want to see the argument, oh, Scott verified the power, it is what it is, just be grateful. I'm gonna be entirely honest with you, that's some gacha game copium right there, and I have been in that community for long enough to know. You are gatekeeping improvement of a power based on a guy you don't know in real life. Curb the glazing, it is fine. Alright, I am very happy that Five Nights at Freddy's is in Dead by Daylight. He brought us this wonderful franchise and very kindly immortalized it in the halls of Dead by Daylight, which we can be grateful for, but we shouldn't bar change to what is currently in the works in front of us based on that alone. The goal is to keep the boon of new players from this license, so let's make sure all the mechanics for Springtrap and its opposition can both be fully utilized to their best for player satisfaction. So, let's talk about the add-on first. Freddy's Hat. This add-on is terrible and doesn't do anything besides gimp your ability to throw your axe. Now, you can say it is for throwing it over certain loops. Sure. I don't know what loops you're talking about. That's my problem. Because, you can throw it over walls, yeah, but you can do that already, and I guess it falls faster, but it's just not necessary. For the amount of things you lose, like having to throw it super high over a loop just to get a basic straight shot into a survivor from 6 meters away. That's not good. I don't know why you would ever run this add-on. Now, my suggested change, and I understand that this might be bad as well, so if it doesn't go in, cool, we just have a useless rare. It's not any different from other killers. Many killers have a useless rare. But I think instead, if you decrease the weight of the axe by 100%, that would be significantly better, because then you would be able to throw it up and it would spend more time in the air, and you'd be able to set yourself up for unique double hit plays that you couldn't do if you didn't have the Freddy Hat. Now, the downside of that is obviously that would give the axe more range. What we should be doing with Springtrap is minimizing the ability to criticize the killer by going, oh, he's worse Huntress, oh, he's worse Xenomorph. We don't really want to do that, and that's fair. And you know what? If that's how it has to be to avoid doing that, then sure. I don't really mind if it stays like this personally. And let's talk about the Foxy Hook real quick. I don't really want to say anything about this because it's not really a hot, unique take or anything. I think we know the Foxy Hook's going to get nerfed. It's Clown's power in an add-on. Let's nerf the add-on, we all agree? I think that's fine. Alright, so the grab mechanics. Springtrap has the ability to get up close to a survivor, very similar to a Maya's Tombstone add-on, that has the axe embedded into their back, and grab them and immediately pick them up. Now, this won't happen in actual gameplay, I don't think. I've done a few matches against bots, and you can get them against bots. So if survivors are coming out of the basement, depending on what basement it is, like if it's a shack basement, probably not, you can get a decent grab if you just hit them coming out of the stairs and then follow them up. That's like an easy way to get a grab. If they're falling off an object, if they're running into you. Now, there's three things those scenarios share. The survivors are in a really, 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 really bad spot already, or they are screwing up pretty bad. And I don't think that grab mechanic should just be limited to, oh, this survivor messed up tenfold, I get a slightly faster pickup. No, it should be something that Springtrap is systematically designed around being able to do semi-consistently. And it is not by any means a free down. You do have to work for it. You have to hit your axe, you have to approach the survivor. You're still spending time in chase. It is not Maya's Tombstone levels of potentially BS, where you can just remove a survivor from the game. That's not what I'm asking. So there's two ways to fix this. But first, I want to talk about the Celebrate poster add-on real quick. Personally, against bot games, this add-on made the grabs much more consistent. Now, is it because the bots aren't running to pallets and windows for some reason when they get the 20 haste? They get the 20 haste brain rot and they stop playing the game. Yeah, a little bit because of that. But also, I think the haste has something to do with actually being able to follow up on the grabs better, and the power just felt significantly better overall using this add-on. So, saying that, I think that Springtrap should have an additional base kit mechanic, where obviously the axe goes on an extended cooldown already when you hit a survivor. During that cooldown, I think you should be able to hold the recall button down, even when the power's on cooldown, and that'll lift your hand and put your weapon down, so you won't be able to attack a survivor while you're doing this. And if you want to cancel it, you'll have to go through a lengthy cooldown, let's say 3.5 seconds. So what this does is, as long as you are maintaining line of sight with a survivor that has the axe embedded and that you are chasing, either the minimum range required to grab a survivor increases gradually, or your speed increases gradually, whether they integrate that with like bloodlust progression, or just giving you a general haste buff, or increasing your base speed, something to make that gap not significantly easier to close, so you can actually get the grab off. Because personally, I think the grab separates Springtrap from a lot of other killers with similar mechanics to him. Cameras and the grab really make him distinct. Now, I have seen an argument, specifically from new players, and I say new players because it's important to the context, where saying, oh, it's a jump scare, it'll get old if you are able to do it too often. And with that, I just have to say, I think that can apply to anything you do in Dead by Daylight as killer. Any killer can get old. Anything you do can get old. Like, all killers have to mind game a pallet eventually. All killers have to press power buttons eventually. And there is not such a diverse amount of functions that one specific thing can get old and something else can't. If you paid attention to the second part of the anniversary stream, when they were talking about designing the killer, they were mentioning on stream how they had a grab mechanic in Dead by Daylight, and they were like, oh, we should use it more often. What if we made a grab-based killer? Inbuilt mechanics where grabs are pretty widespread, and not many other killers have that. Again, it's just Maya's with an add-on. I think it should be changed because of the way the door grab is integrated, because the door grab is integrated exceedingly well. That grab is very good and rewarding. So I think the other grab should be somewhat similar amounts of rewarding based on the mechanic I just demonstrated. So you'd have to be in chase, you'd have to maintain line of sight, and then eventually you would get a much more lenient grab. And it has ample survivor counterplay, because Springtrap can't attack, you can body block, you can force them to undergo a lengthy cancel, you can block line of sight with long walls, big loops, and you can try to avoid his grab by sticking to tight areas where you'd be able to move around behind cover. So yeah, that's all I have to say about Springtrap. Overall, I'm very happy with his power. It's quite good. And I think there is a little bit of doom posting going on, but also he's not perfect. And I need to stress that. He's not perfect, and like no Scott Cawthon glazing will make him perfect. So yeah, PTB has room for improvement. This is just a suggestion. Feel free to leave your comments if you agree or disagree. So see you. I hope your day is well and life treats you good.